everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I'm here today with a design team post for Scrapping for Less. I am going to be doing the Christmas All Year Long series again, and I am using quite a few different products that I'll talk about as I kind of use them, but I'm going to get into this, and I'm going to show you how to use that foil without without a laminator. But I'm going to show you how to make this pocket. It is super simple, and I think they're very cute. You're going to take a 6-inch piece of pattern paper. You're going to fold it in half diagonally, so you're going to make that triangle. And then you're going to take over the flap, so one of the corners, and bring it all the way down to the center and score that. Then you flip that back up and you take each of the side corners and you just fold those up to that score line. And then you flip that flap back down, and that is it. That is the 6-inch one. I do end up getting or going a little bit smaller and doing a 5.5-inch square and then a 5-inch square as well. I end up liking the between the 5 and the 5.5 the best. I like it a little bit smaller, but these are A2 size cards, so they're 4.5 by, or 4.25 by 5.5 inches. So you might want to make a larger card and use a larger piece. I did try it with an 8-inch piece of paper and it worked just fine. I'm assuming you could probably go up in sizes, but that was as high as I went, was an 8-inch piece of paper. So here is the first time that I'm using the foil. So I use score tape, and this is 1/4-inch score tape. This foil is just some that I got in a kit. I think it was a Martha Stewart kit. And so I'm just going to use that. And all you have to do is pop that score tape down and then put the foil over it. Make sure that you burnish it really well, whether you just use your finger or bone folder or whatever you may use. But you do want to make sure that you burnish that really well. I think this little pocket is just adorable, and it gives you so many different options. It fits a gift card in there perfectly. You can use tags, you can stick all different kinds of stuff on there. And they're super simple to make and really, really quick. And they end up being really cute and give a nice little something extra on top of the cards, so that you can, I would assume you can probably even stick it inside of the card, so when they open it up you can stick a gift card inside of there and it won't fall out, you know, if you don't want to use like a glue dot or something like that. On some of them I end up putting images. On one of them I have, and if you can see it there, kind of, there's a piece of a wood figurine, or it's a mistletoe, and I ended up just popping embossing powder on that a while ago, and it was part of one of the kits that we got, and I popped the embossing powder on there and then just heat embossed it with different color embossing powders. So I thought that was cute and I decided to use that one on here. Now this one is an old piece of foil that I have had for so many years I couldn't even tell you. It has to be at least 15, if not longer. And it's all wrinkly, which kind of gives it a cool effect. It kind of makes it a little antique looking, I guess you want to say, on there, and I really thought that was cool. Some of these card bases are just from my stash. Some of them are from card kits that I got, and that's what I'm using with all of these, for all of these card bases that I'm using. All of them are 4.25 by 5.5 inch cards, or A2 size cards. So these little pockets, like I said, fit perfectly on top of them, and they're just so simple to make, and I just think they give it such a cool effect. Now this, I'm going to use the red. This is actually deco foil, the red is, and this one, I don't want to say it worked the best because they were all fine, but I guess, you know, it's the smoothest and it looked the best because it was new and it was still in its case. So it was definitely very pretty on there. So, and for this one I just decided to stamp the sentiment right on that little pocket. So I did stick it in the MISTI just to make sure that it stayed straight in case I had to, because I had already folded it, just to make sure that it was going to stamp well and that I would get a good crisp image on there. Like I said, these worked up so quickly and they were so simple, and yet I think they really pack a punch and they're really cute. I tried, like I said, a lot of different little things. I ended up using the Kaisercraft tags that I had used back around the holidays. I ended up using the My Favorite Things, Here Comes Santa Claus stamp set for the most of the sentiments. And then I used Reindeer Games from Scrapping for Less. That was actually part of the October 2018 Flavor of the Month kit, and those images are so stinking cute. I just really think they're adorable, and I do go down and color some of those in a little bit. Now for this one I decided to make more of a pattern. I put the card diagonally on my work surface, and then I put the score tape 1/4 of an inch apart. And I just did a few at a time because I really wanted to make sure that I did this good. Like I said, that piece of foil is so old that you really can't go over a bunch of them at one time because there's not much left. I was really kind of excited that I got to use this, and I'll be able to hopefully get rid of it soon because I've had it for so long. But I thought it was just kind of a perfect time to be able to use that. I do end up also using a deco foil adhesive pen, and it worked perfectly. I used it on one of the images that you'll see in a little bit. It's a Christmas tree, and I used it on the garland, and I loved it. I was so excited that it worked so well. For this one, I bent over the tip just a little bit. I don't know, I was just trying different things and kind of playing around with it to see what else I could do. And then here's where I stamped the images. I do use Copics to color them, and I'll give you all the colors in a moment. And this is where I'm using the deco foil pen. Like I said, it really worked perfectly, and I think for writing, like if you want to do some script writing or some calligraphy, it would work perfect. You just let it dry for 30 seconds, a minute, and then pop the foil right on top of it, and it was super simple and it worked great. I did use it on the star and, like I said, on the garland, and I just think it was perfect. Now this certainly isn't any kind of fancy coloring. I was just trying to get the color on there, and I wanted something cute to pop on the front of those little pockets so that they could, like I said, just have a little something extra on them. And so this is real simple coloring, nothing fancy by any means. And what's so cool about using the tapes or the foil, or not the foil, or the adhesive pen, is if you see a spot that you missed, you just rub the piece of foil over it again, and you can cover up that spot really easily. So it worked great. I loved using both of them. I think if you use some very thin score tape, you could probably get some really cool designs. Like I said, this was 1/4 of an inch. If you use like 1/8 of an inch or even like 1/16 of an inch score tape, you'd really be able to make some cool designs. Being I used the 1/4 inch, there wasn't a lot I could do, but I still think they turned out great, and it kind of gave it just enough pop on there. All of the pattern paper I used with these were from the November and October 2019 Flavor of the Month card kits. For some of the sentiments, I just stamped on the inside. For this one, I used a piece of the pattern paper that was left over when I cut it down, and I popped the sentiment on there. I did heat emboss it with some white embossing powder, and then cut it down and just fishtailed one end, and it says Jolly Wishes for a happy holiday. And then that's where I used that wood piece that I had. I adhered that down, made up a couple of a tag, and popped it right in there. There is the little Christmas tree, and then here's the little reindeer, the little kid dressed up in the reindeer outfit. So those are all my cards. I hope you're enjoying this series. Like I said, I love making quick cards that really kind of set apart, gives you something a little extra, but that are simple and you can make a lot of them in a short amount of time. I'll be sure to link all of the products that are in the store so that you can grab those. And I want to thank everyone for joining me, and I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks. Take care.